Greetings, folks. This is an attempt at doing a thing because it turns out we are not going to have the Cold Ruins of Last Life today. We decided that we were all sort of just we're all in very strange places today for various reasons. So we were thought, no, let's go ahead and do another thing today, just for today, and then in 2 weeks when we come back, we'll actually do this. We'll actually do Cold Ruins of Last Life. I am Jim. I use he/him pronouns, and we are going to try out this thing called Cheat Your Own Adventure. I know I have never played it, and I believe others on this video chat have, but we will see how things go. And I'm going into this completely blind, so I guess I will. Let's start with Lloyd. Hello. Just say who you are.
Hi everyone. I'm Lloyd, and I'm here. Hello. I'm just a dude. Don't mind me. That's it. Nothing special. I don't really have a thing to plug.
Jim suddenly realized it's like, wait, what was the second thing we're supposed to say? I don't know. Just say hello and how you're doing and all that, I guess. Charlie, hi. How's it going?
Hi, I'm Charlie. I don't know where I am or what I'm doing right now, so I'm here.
It's this, yes. There is this whole sense of identity that is plaguing us today, and he who has brought the game to us, Matthias. Hello.
Hi, I'm Matthias. I use he/him. Yeah. So I don't know. Choose your own adventure. You all know those old Choose Your Own Adventure books? Yes?
Yes.
Right, it's where like a branching story is jumbled up in a book, so you can't just read it from front to back. You actually have to know which page to turn to for the story to progress and make any sense of it. As those games were kind of famous for being super deadly and super unfair, right? It's like, well, yeah, that was the wrong option to choose. You're dead now, and there was no foreshadowing. Like you couldn't have known what kind of risk you were getting yourself into. But you used to play like a character who like delve into dungeons or wizard towers and stuff like that. So that's this game, and the way you actually played them was always to make sure you still had your thumb at the last passage where you were to show, so you could go back to it and try a different route if the one that you were reading up on wasn't or didn't turn out as wise of a choice. So this game will be going around, and we'll have one protagonist, and this protagonist is going to dungeon delve someplace, and we'll each get to play them. And when it's not our turn, we get to make up options of which branches are presented to that protagonist, and then that protagonist chooses, and there's a small little dice roll to see if it was a wise choice or not, and if it isn't, then it's going to kill the protagonist. So we might see them die lots of different ways tonight. Then we go back, and the second choice you make is going to be the one that's always successful. So that's how we get through that. So any questions? I mean, it'll be easy once we start the first round. You'll know how this is working. So I'm just going to start with the introduction quest that the game comes with. And that reads, your quest begins for the treasure of the dungeons of Zalkir. With a sword in one hand and a burning brand in the other, you stride into the darkness. The slope continues down into the dank tunnels until it opens into a large room ringed with the leering statues of gargoyles, a sturdy door in each wall. The door ahead is marked with the sigil of the evil wizard Zalkir. There's a small wooden box in the center of the room. So with that, I'm right now the storyteller, and I told you what was happening to the protagonist. And now we would see in the Choose Your Own Adventure book the options we get at the bottom, which will be 3, because there's 3 other players here.
Okay.
So whoever knows something, we don't like. That doesn't need to be in order for this. But if you have an idea, throw out an option.
How are we supposed to tell you the options? Do we tell you like page numbers, or do we give like a whole long description?
So you like it should be like at least not more than 1 or 2 sentences.
Okay.
Like if you want to open the door to with the sigil of the wizard, turn to page 35. And just make up a page number.
Okay. Yeah, I think
because it doesn't really matter, right?
So
go on then, Jim.
I was thinking just out of sheer madness. I also need a couple of D10 for this in my own mind. But I'm going to say if you would like to examine the loud noise. There we go. I'm going to say if you would like to examine the gargoyles, turn to page 17.
Okay.
If you would like to open the box, a present left to you from the previous adventurer, turn to page 12.
You muted.
My bad. If you would like to return from the way you came,
Just fucking leave.
turn to page.
Goodbye.
Do I just pick a page or do I
Yes.
like roll?
Yeah, just pick a page.
Turn to page 30.
Nice. I mean, the last one would be the sensible option, but I don't think our protagonist is that sensible. So I think I'm going to pick. I want to see what the last adventure, what gifts they left for me here, because that's probably the wise thing. This can't be a trap at all, right?
So
now
I rolled 2d6, right?
I rolled 2d6.
Oh, you rolled 2d6. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
So I think that's the. Let me. Here's my dice roller. Okay.
Do we need to remember these page numbers by any chance?
No. I mean, yeah, that's a 4. That's higher than 2.
Okay. Wow, that's a good roll.
So that's good. So I chose your option, and your option was successful. So you get to decide what happens now and do the next bit of narrative description, Lloyd.
Okay. You carefully approach the box within the room, eyes upon the gargoyles leering at you as you step forward to the center of the room. A sigil glows slightly as you enter the box vicinity, but you pay it no mind. The idea of treasure drives you forward. As your hand reaches to the box and you lift it up slowly, inside you find nothing more than a ring and a letter. As you lift the ring up, the letter falls to the ground and you catch it before it hits it. Pulling it open, it says, "To the one that will follow, I have failed. I am not able to continue all the way through to the end and finally slay the ruler of the dungeon itself. To do so, I have discovered many clues, but the one that you would need to know is that there are 3 items that serve to keep his power and strength. A ring of Isha that I have now, the axe of Asmatar that is somewhere between, and finally, the scabbard of Sadu, which one must find a way to claim. I only have one of these items. If you are better and mob stronger than me, you will find the axe and the scabbard yourselves. Good luck. Within it is signed the name A.H., and you recognize it as the name of your father for when he last adventured here.
Nice.
How do you do that?
How do I do what? How do I do what? Have you not read a Choose-Your-Own Adventure before?
I have. That's fair. I'm just amazed every time you do that. I'm amazed. It's a wonderful thing. I'm saying you're good at description, Lloyd.
I'll take it. It's all good.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. Okay, do I want to go with the ludicrous one or do I want to go with the more sensible one? Or does anyone have an idea they might want to jump forward? Otherwise, I don't.
So how does it work from this point? Because I haven't actually had a chance to read this piece of paper yet.
So now it's us three who will present an option to go forward with. Lloyd chooses which one he wants to try, and then he needs to meet or beat the current difficulty number, and we're now at number 3. So that's still pretty easy to beat it.
I feel like he's, in a way, that having presented 3 choices of different artifacts to go for, I feel as though there might be like 3 ways out of this room, and like each one is going to be heading toward a particular one. Maybe.
I think that's too much meta discussion.
Too much
actually,
meta discussion?
Present an option, and we'll see.
Okay, and so he has ended his text basically.
He's ended his text, right? Okay. So the next part would be, if you want to put the ring on and emboldened by your father's last words, stride forward through the door, opposite on the opposite end of the room. Go to page 112.
Okay.
So that's one option now.
Yeah. Right.
To recall that your father was a chef and not an adventurer, and put the items back in the box and head out. Turn to page 64.
Perfect. Yes.
What the hell is he doing here?
But that was a chef. What am I thinking?
What were the items in the box again? Can you remind me? Because
it was the ring of Isha and the paper that said that the axe of Ashmatar and the scabbard of Sahud.
Okay.
Never for you to slay the ruler of the dungeon of Zalkir.
Yeah, but it was just the ring and the paper in the box, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
That's a chef. I'm out.
So I think to hang on to the ring without wearing it and cautiously begin using the left to right method of searching this dungeon.
Keep going left, you have to go right. Okay.
Turn to page 45.
All right, so we have the wear the ring and stride forth. Don't wear the ring and just keep going left, or just freaking leave because you gotta go to fucking. I want to go for the chef option, but I'm gonna pass you the dice, Jim.
Okay.
I will not wear the ring, and I will use the left to right method.
Excellent. So you cautiously stride. Sorry, go ahead.
Lloyd has to roll first.
Oh, right.
Shit.
You might die. This might be the wrong option, right?
Well, it was 6, so we're good.
Yeah, okay, good.
All right.
So that's a 6. It's success.
So he chose my option, so I begin narrating the next bit. Is that how this works?
Yeah.
Okay. So you carefully wrap the ring in cloth so as not to make skin contact with it for too very long. You check to make sure bringing along one of your, making sure to make use of one of your disinfectant wipes that you've brought along with you. You then cautiously reach a gloved hand for the leftmost door, and then pull back for a moment as you realize that it could be trapped. You begin searching the outline of the door for traps, and discover that it has an unusual that the door itself does have a slightly unusual mechanism to it. It has a number of things on it that you could choose. To pull the latch coming down from the left-hand side of the door, turn to page...
No. We get to make up the option.
Oh,
You don't get to
yes, that's right. I'm
You do
sorry.
not get an option.
I apologize. I was just narrating and it just happened to me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stop there and let you present options.
If you're going to be all like, oh no, I'm not even going to look at those weird wizard markings. I've had enough of this and just going to take and run off. Go to page 4.
To defy all options and push all buttons, turn to page 27.
To ignore this door, but go to the next without checking it and just open. Turn to page 14.
Cool. So what do you want to do, Jim?
That's an excellent question. I think I'm going to... I have chosen the left to right method, damn it, so I am going to push all the buttons and try to go through the door. What am I aiming for?
You need to
Roll
meet
a 4.
a 4 or higher.
Okay, here we go. I got a 9.
How many dice did you roll, by the
I
way?
rolled 2d6.
Good. Okay, that
It
sounded
sounded like I was like, how much dice does he have?
All
Okay.
of them. I just rolled these 2.
okay.
But I am using a dice tower, if that helps explain why it
Oh,
sounds
that
like
makes
it's clattery.
Okay.
Okay, so you are a neat freak, right?
Not necessarily.
Well, I mean, that's the function established that you wear gloves and stuff. So,
Oh, well, I mean, yes, but at the same time, that could completely deviate from the next part, because that's...
true.
Got those gloves from his chef father.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we didn't go... I'm remembering some Choose Your Own Adventure style books where they, like, completely changed the background of what's happening depending on which option you chose.
True. There were many things that were taught to you in your years in the academy. Be careful of those you speak of, ways to wield your blade in a sensible fashion. What parts of the flesh would be the easiest to cut? But one thing they did not teach you at the academy was how to disarm traps. Fortunately for you, Lady Luck smiles upon the bold, and as you push all 3 buttons in, there is just a second where the door opens for you to step through. You spritely strode forward, confident in your ability to disarm this heinous stopping power between you and your goal, until the door slams shut behind you and the floor turns slick and you are sent sliding down into the depths below. You land with a loud oof and rise up to find yourself within a cage. Turning around to face your surroundings, for a moment you thought yourself alone, trapped for all eternity, until the sounds of cheering ring above you. You look around, you're in an arena, and standing before you, wielding a giant axe, is a giant minotaur. I can't hear anyone.
To proclaim loudly, this isn't where I parked my car, and feign ignorance Turn to page 40.
Jim, I still can't hear you, by the way.
There we go. You can actually hear me now, probably.
Hey.
Assuming. That's because I was muted. To attempt to make friends with the Minotaur, turn to page 99.
To how do you say that? To just roll and duck for cover and get out of the way of the saber-toothed tiger behind you. Turn to page 74.
Okay, I hate to say this, guys, but I'm going to feign ignorance and decide my car's not been parked anywhere.
Of course.
So let's find out how bad that goes.
It's a Peter 5.
Oh, no! I got 3!
Oh, no!
So, who narrates the death?
So, well, that was Charlie. Charlie, you. So, what happens on a failure? If the roll is less than the lowest difficulty, then the choice was less wise. The rolling player then narrates. Oh no, the rolling player? No. Yeah, the rolling player then narrates a death scene for the brave adventurer. Make it short but over the top. Then hand the dice back to the reader, who selects another choice. Oh, okay. I think we did the rolling wrong. But yeah, no.
Okay.
Charlie gets to decide how this was a bad choice and how the protagonist dies. And then, Lloyd, you get to make another choice. And that's the correct one then.
Okay.
The Minotaur can't speak English, so it immediately charges. Fade to black.
All right. I shall flip back to the page I was before, and this time I will choose to befriend the Minotaur.
All right.
All right. Now, is it do I roll or does he roll?
No roll required. The second choice is always successful.
Oh, always successful? Okay, so I need
Yeah,
to
so-
narrate what happens?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And then stop.
we've got a
when you
new
get to-
friend.
Okay, so
Apparently, I don't know how this goes.
let's
Maybe
see. You raising your hands quietly. You step forward, making placating gestures, attempting to sound Minotaur-like. You get to about 10 feet away as this Minotaur watches you as you're trying to be like him, and he begins laughing at this deep-throated noise comes up from his chest, and you realize after a moment that it is indeed laughter, as he has found what you are trying to do hilarious. In the process, he lowers his axe. And strides toward you. Puts a hand on your shoulder and says, whispers very quietly, and seemingly the only words he knows is some of the only words he seems to know in your language. Go down. He then makes as if to strike you with his bare hand across your face. And I stop here.
take advantage of the Minotaur's innocence and slay him with the weapon he has sheathed. Turn to page 112.
To high five the Minotaur's hand. Turn to page 72.
To dramatically pretend that you're being hit with full force and dire, overly dramatic death while flipping off the crowd, turn to page 52.
Okay, so I'm going to attempt to go for that third option.
Good luck.
Where we're playing along with the Minotaur to feign death. And do I roll or do you roll? Are we?
You roll.
I will roll. Okay.
Or like, doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I realized I read back over the paragraph, so I didn't say. But I mean, if since we've been doing it this way, if you want, we can keep doing it.
Yeah, keep it this way, and then
all right, I'll go ahead and roll. I shall roll, and I'm looking for what, a 5 or a 6?
6.
A 6. Okay.
6 or higher.
I've got a 9.
Hey.
Okay, well, that's successful. Yeah. As you pretend to die from the Minotaur's punch to your face, the crowd erupts in cheers, and you lie there with your eyes closed. The cheers seem to get louder and closer, and then suddenly you feel something tugging at you.
Go on.
Sorry. Okay.
Yep.
To open your eyes and look down to see what it is that's tugging at you. Turn to page 20.
To continue feigning death, confident in your ability to play dead despite what may happen to you. Turn to page 57.
To jump up and yell psych. Turn to page. Turn to page 80.
Yeah, I'm picking the third one.
Here we go.
I mean, we need to get the axe, right, somehow. So.
Yeah, we need to get the axe and then get the scabbard, and then we're done. But we're already halfway there.
Okay, I need to hit a 7 or higher. It's a 10.
Hey! All right, Charlie, go.
All right. When you open your eyes, you see no one standing there. Well, not no one. An empty room, all but a old man in a robe holding out the axe. And he just starts cackling.
To cackle along with the old man. Because why not go mad at this point? Turn to page 50.
If you have played the Denizens of the Moon and have met the fabled old good Amethyst, turn to page 3077.
I'm now having Lone Wolf flashbacks.
Nice. If you at this point have no idea what's going on, you might want to turn back to page 1
I'm turning back to page 1.
Oh my god!
Spiral.
Yep. You have to hit it
Ooh,
8 or
11.
higher. Okay. That was the correct choice.
6 and 5.
How was that the correct choice? We had a few options.
Oh, this is wonderful.
Okay. Well, I guess it's me and here's how I'm trying to go and solve this, right?
Good luck.
Yeah.
Time travel.
As you if you're reading this, yeah, exactly. No, it's the just below the ISBN number, the small little imprint. A wise choice. A wizard never plays by a game's rules. I think that's it.
I mean, I can give you an option.
Yeah.
Go on, then. Go for it.
The 3 options need to come now.
Okay, so to give up and enter the featureless void beyond narrative, turn to page 500.
To cheat your way to the point where you have all 3 items that you need and to finally face the final boss of the dungeons, turn to page 177.
To jolt awake and realize 'twas all but a dream. Let's turn to page 69.
Oh, it's that
Nice.
kind of dream. Okay.
Well, shit, we do not have everything yet, right? But it says cheat. I'm gonna try it. Yeah, I'm going for the cheating option.
Oh, well, that's going to fucking go wrong for you, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so.
You lucky son of a gun. Literally 12.
Ooh. Well, what's on page 177?
Okay. Well, how many more adventures? You've got 3 more to go, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Somehow, either by might, wisdom, or trickery, you find yourselves facing the front door to the Denzins itself. Finally, in front of you, as you pull open hold it by its large knobs and rank the door open, you find yourself in a throne room facing the leader of the dungeons of Zalkir. He sits upon his throne surrounded by 2 large snakes, and he smiles at you, declaring, "At last, you have come. I will fell you just as I felled your father before you."
If you just want to go ahead and rush him before he talks even more, go to page 17.
To bond with this treacherous villain over what a jerk your father was, turn to page 150.
I'm just waiting for Charlie. I'm sorry, guys.
That's fair.
It doesn't matter. I'm just waiting for Charlie.
I mean, that's
Charlie,
going to be the best option. We already know.
fucking, I'm just rolling the dice now. Let's save time. Go on, Charlie. Let's go.
To say, I'm sorry, sir. I'm with the census. I need to ask you some questions.
Charlie, we're doing that. Roll.
Oh, that is a 10.
What is it?
A 10.
Oh, a 10 is just success.
That's it. Go for
Yeah.
it, Charlie. Let's do this.
He seems slightly confused, but he's used to people just attacking him. So he lets you make your way to his throne. What do you do?
If you stared at the gargoyles at the beginning of the adventure, turn to page 50. I hate that so much. I'm like, wait, what the fuck?
To sit on the throne loudly proclaiming dibs. Turn to page 176.
To finally say no, I need to really wake up right now. End this nonsense. I go to page 93.
Just because it's so vague, I gotta go with the gargoyle option.
Yeah! You're so gonna die. I can't wait. Do it.
11. It's the target.
I need to roll it?
Yeah, you need to roll.
One of you.
Oh, guess who got 2 6s?
Nice!
I'm not even kidding.
Wow. Glad we looked at those gargoyles, right?
Yeah.
Did we?
We totally didn't.
No, it's there on the page. You can turn right to the page. If you have the summer sword. Sorry.
Yeah.
Get the summer sword. I should have said that.
I started with book 8. I didn't know.
You must have sucked. I'm so sorry.
It was terrible.
With every stride you take towards the leader of the dungeons, your heart beats in fear. You're able to keep up the charade, and he follows your every movement. But even as you approached, axe on your back, scabbard at your side, and ring on your finger, you know it's going to be a tough battle. You take a deep breath, steeling yourself for what is to come, when a slight movement from the right of your eye gets you. You notice Idi and Odo, the 2 gargoyles from the beginning of the room, have slowly made their way into the throne. And they stand at the top, ready to poise down to keep the snakes from biting you. You know you have one shot. With them keeping the snakes at bay, this is the time for you to strike. All you have to do is have the will to do it.
I have my option, but if you found out the true age of your father, you know which page to turn to.
Ooh, that's good. I like that.
If you found out the true name of your father, turn to the next page.
If you're sick of puzzles and riddles, you pull out your sword and attack. Turn to page 84.
All these options are really good. I'm going to go with pull out my sword and attack. Because I think just charge. Oh, but again, at the same time, I kind of want to do the name and the age of the father. I'm going to do sword and attack first. Let's do that. Screw it. We'll see how the dice go.
12. Needs to be hit. Who wants to roll?
Oh, I'll roll, yeah. See how the dice go. 11. Literally 11.
Yeah.
So close and yet so far. Charlie, how do I die?
Before you could even take a breath, holding up your sword, ready to attack, the leader of the dungeon holds up his hand. Time steals, and it's like every molecule in your being is being ripped apart from his magic. And you are no more.
I'm gonna cheat that page, and I am going to know the age of my father and tend to that page.
Ah, yes. So you turn to the page of the age of your father.
Rifling through the book until you figure out which one it is, because you totally don't know it.
Is it this one? I don't know.
Having recognized that it's Zalkir himself who is your actual father and still alive. You name him, and he recognizes you as he looks into your eyes and proclaims, finally, my heir has found me, and embraces you in his arms for you to become the next Lord of the Dungeons of Zalkir. Congrats.
We did it! Eventually.
What a trip.
Oh my god. I was like, okay, we'll have a consistent story, right? No, we won't. Don't worry. No such thing as a consistent story.
Oh,
You're welcome.
No, that's great. That's a lot of the books were like that too, especially the knockoffs, the ones that were like, what were they called? Pick a Path and Which Way books and things of that nature.
I just love if you have the somersault, turn to page 50, you're like, what somersault? I just picked up this book today. Sorry, bro.
That was me when I first read that book.
Do you know the whole Lone Wolf series you can get on an app?
I found that out a little while back. That apparently,
I'm playing through them because I'm running Lone Wolf a lot, and it's really good fun.
Oh, yeah, cool. I need to back in the Dark and Misty. There was a time when I tried to start adapting the books in BASIC, and yes.
Actually, you probably could have done that.
Oh yeah, I did book 1, and then I stopped. Wow. Okay. So that was a lot of fun. Do we want to? Do we want to do one more, or do we? Or are we really exhausted at this point?
I kind of feel like that killed me.
Too much inconsistencies. Yeah, you kind of once you've played it once, it kind of makes sense to be like, okay, can we frame a little bit about what we want to do with it, right?
And how we're gonna do it.
Yeah, and how we're gonna do it. Right. This can easily be like hacked and drifted into like, how about we make it a rom-com, and every time you fail, you actually fall happily in love with someone.
Oh.
And just have at every step a date or something like that. And successes, no, they weren't the right person. Right? Turning this whole thing on its head. There are lots of different ways to play it.
Yeah, I see that. No, this was a lot of fun. So yeah, I definitely will be interested in doing this again at some point. Very cool. Okay, so so I guess that's it then. If we're gonna go ahead and sign off at this point, if I'm interpreting things correctly, we want to.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's cool.
All right.
Yeah, I think we're cool.
All right, folks. Well, I'm gonna go. We'll go ahead and just say again who we are, and if there's any where to find us, and anything else we like. And I'm just gonna go counterclockwise, and I'm going to start with Charlie.
Hi, I'm Charlie. You can find me on Twitter at Diet Cream Soda. That's about it. That's all my plugs.
And Matthias.
Hi, I'm Matthias. You can find me at MTHSPLGR on Twitter, and on Thursdays on Sophie Mai's channel, where I'm running Monster Hearts, which is coming to a close very soon. It all feels like pointing that direction. We'll have a house party with parents gone next time, so that should be good fun.
Cool. And finally, Lloyd.
I'm just a dude. Hi guys. Nice to see you all. See you around.
You can be found online, though. I've seen you.
Yeah, Okay, at Drugged Dwarf on
Yeah,
Twitter.
there it
So
is.
Doesn't count.
Thank you so much, folks, for joining us. So we're going to try again in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today is when we're going to try to come back to Cold Ruins of Last Life. Hopefully we'll be actually relatively slightly more sane at that point, or if not sane, at least faking it, and see if we can actually get our brains back into that space, that glorious undead space. In the meantime, tomorrow on this channel, I do video games in the mornings, on the weekends, that, so I'm doing that Gold Rush anniversary again tomorrow morning. But then tomorrow early evening, we're playing A Penny for My Thoughts by Paul Tevis, which, like this, is a jamless game. It's very sort of story-oriented, where we're all going to be playing amnesiacs, trying to help recover each other's memories. And so I'm very much looking forward to that. And on Tuesday nights, I'm on Urban Shadows over on Off the Table. And we just had our session 0. We're going to be doing our session 1 of our particular group. And I'm delighted to see all the tragedy unfold. And then Wednesdays, I'm starting in March, Wednesdays, I've got Dungeon World now. I'm going to be running a thing of Dungeon World, and we're going to be doing mostly world building for like the first half of the first session. As we put it all together, I'm actually going to be using a couple of prompts, like 20 dungeon starters, and I'm also going to use In a Wicked Age as well. So we're going to see how it slants and kind of just go in that direction. And that's most of what's going on this week. I still have signups open if anyone wants to jump into Life on Mars. I do need to update the page itself because it looks as though there are other signups open, but it's actually just the Life on Mars that we're doing later this month, which is another story game, GMO story game, about the first manned mission to Mars and how it changes them, the people on it. So that I think is going to be really cool. So signups are still open for that. If you want to go down to the sign up link on the page below, here on my Twitch page, or just go to jimyesthatjim.com. Otherwise, I'm OtherDoc on Twitch and Twitter. Feel free to just stop by and check it out. Thanks to anyone who's been watching. This has been insane, and I loved it. Take care, folks, and I shall see you all of a sudden. Farewell.
Bye.